With Jeff on vacation this week, I gotta host OpenTab, and Joe, I am so scared.
Mike, what makes you so scared?
The commenters. Every time I'm on the show, they make fun of everything from my checkered shirts to my sugary drink choices, to the fact that it looks like I'm doing my homework when I'm just trying to read their comments on the air.
Mike, you're gonna do fine. You just need a little courage. Let me give you this.
Joe, what the? Joe, what is this?
It's not just a dongle. It's the courage to move away from headphones and do things the way Apple wants us to.
Joe, are you kidding? Wait, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. I have the courage. I could host the show. It's gonna be great.
That's it. Now where do I plug this thing? I want to listen to some tunes.
Seriously, just get a different phone from last year. It'll be easier that way.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
What's up? Welcome to OpenTab, and I am not Jeff Bacalar. He is away on a likely beautiful vacation far, far away from the iPhone 7. My name is Mike Sorrentino, and this week I'll be taking the reins of our conversation show where we talk about the week in tech with you live on Livestream and YouTube. So join us right now. Send us your questions and comments right now in the YouTube chat, which I'm staring at right now. You send us questions using hashtag OpenTab, and we'll wrap them all up to answer live later in the show. Right now, we're here with two of CNET's top audio experts, Executive Editor David Carnoy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
And returning to our show, Associate Editor Justin Yu. Thanks so much for joining us too.
It's good to be back, Mike.
Awesome. How you doing, guys?
Doing good.
It's been a crazy week and a half-ish with like Apple things.
Sure. I mean, onslaught of stuff. Obviously, the release of the actual iPhone 7 and 7 Plus today, so people now have it in their hands.
Yeah, people apparently in New York here were breakdancing in the line. One of our colleagues, Alfred Eng, took a GIF of the guys breakdancing. The Apple Store employees specifically were breakdancing while people were buying phones, and it always kind of amuses me how happy people get about buying expensive gadgets, I guess.
Do they still have the Apple employees that applaud you when you come out of the
Yes.
store?
The first guy who buys the phone, or gal?
I think possibly the whole day.
Okay.
Another colleague of ours, I was chatting with Caitlin, she bought a phone this morning too, and there were people like cheering people on as they were dropping $700.
Fools, all of
Or
them
more.
fools.
But yeah, so the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, they're now out in the wild. And earlier this week, Scott Stein reviewed the devices, which now support water resistance, improved cameras, and battery life. But as everyone expected over rumors for months, no headphone jack at all. Instead, they include an adapter and Bluetooth audio support. So you guys have both spent a lot of time reviewing a variety of headphones without headphone jacks. When that announcement came out, do you think losing that port's a big deal nowadays? We have so many Bluetooth audio devices out there now.
I'll start. Yeah, I think it's a huge deal. Yeah, I was really upset by it. I'm still wondering if there are people that were shopping for the iPhone that don't know it doesn't have the headphone jack. I'd love to see that reaction even today. But yeah, I think it's a huge deal. Even though obviously Apple's not the first company to release Bluetooth earbuds, I just don't think that their version of them are good enough to sort of warrant the decision.
I actually disagree. I was a little bit concerned. I thought about it for a while. I've written a bunch of articles on it. And in the end, I was like, I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah.
Partially because at least there's I was more worried they were going to charge $30 for the adapter. At least they put it in the box. Hopefully you don't lose it.
Yeah.
I just think right now the market is really swinging towards wireless headphones anyway. So it's already over 50% of revenue or sales and that's going to keep increasing. And at least now, a good wired headphone is going to beat a wireless headphone, a Bluetooth headphone. But Bluetooth is finally getting to the point where it actually sounds pretty good.
Remember, Apple did that before when they moved from 30-pin to Lightning. The adapter for that was about, I think, $20 to $30. And this time it's only $9 for that 3.55 into Lightning. But I was very much expecting that to be $30. And some of the competitors which we might get to a little later. They're still charging $30 to $40, and they add like multiple lightning ports or an inline remote to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Apple's trying to make it as seamless as possible to move people away from it. At the same time, I think the benefits of not having it, supposedly there's a little bit better battery life. There's also the waterproofing. Obviously, there's phones out there that have a headphone jack that are still waterproof. So the idea that you're getting something in return, you are getting that second speaker. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but it's going to make a little bit of difference. But the idea of selling that loss with another gain, they're trying their best to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the accessory that I love the most, I think you wrote about it this week, David, was by a company called Spigen. I wish we had them in the office right now, but it's an accessory that attaches to your two AirPods, and it's basically just a lanyard to turn your Bluetooth earbuds into a wired earbud.
Well,
it's literally just a
they call
string
them
that connects
true
left to
wireless.
right.
True wireless earphones. Or
What's the point of that? Is that just for people that want to dangle a necklace
It's like a
around
tactile
there?
feeling, you think?
Yeah,
Like,
is
people
that what
need
it
that,
is?
like-
Well, I think
I know a lot of people are afraid that they're going to lose them if they don't have to carry around that case all the time. Is that what it is? I mean, how much is that thing? Like $30 or something?
No, it's $10.
Oh, $10.
Well,
too
it
much,
will be $10.
But at Bridges, those AirPods are going to be $160 to $170.
$159.
$59. Yeah. Awesome. So $160 then. And maybe it just gives that a little more security if in case you were to lose or
No,
drop
I mean,
one.
I honestly think that isn't as big a problem with the AirPods as people think, because I've been using a lot of these totally wireless earphones for the last few months, and once you put it back in the case, you just put it in your pocket and they're stowed away, just like having headphones in a case. What I will say is, I think what people are going to be shocked about is how many people buy these AirPods and then use a single AirPod as basically their way of making calls. Like all those, they've sold literally millions of LG tone neckband style headphones. And the idea with that is you can use them as stereo buds, but at the same time, you'll see a lot of people just pull a bud up to use as a single bud to make calls. So, I mean, I think that's what's going to surprise people is how many people end up. You'll just see them wearing one of those things in their ears.
And you do need to put it back into the case at least every couple of hours to get that full 24-hour charge.
Yeah, I mean,
because, that case charges the earbuds too. The thing that I was really surprised about with the AirPods is that you can't change the track by touching a part of. There's no button on the actual AirPods. A lot, we're going to show a bunch of examples of Bluetooth earbuds that came out prior to the AirPods, and those all have some way or another to either control the volume or change the track or both. And I think that's going to frustrate a lot of people when they buy them too. You spend $160, you still have to pull out your phone, change the track, or turn the volume up.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about. I mean, I think it's more. I think Apple's focused on making them dead easy to connect and stay connected. And be very reliable connection. Those are the two things that are problematic with these truly wireless. So that's where everything was focused. So when you pull one of these buds out, it is connected to your phone. You're done, and that is going to be appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah, especially if you have the entire ecosystem too. I mean, it's not just your phone. If you have, it connects by iCloud, right? So if you have iPad. If you have a watch, it'll connect to all those automatically, which is pretty convenient too. But you have to have all those devices in order to buy it.
I mean, if anything, people are going to be possibly slightly disappointed by the sound. I think they sound fine, but because they're an open design, first of all, they let some sound in. So if you're in a noisy environment, you'll have some sound leaking in. Also, you're not going to get a ton of bass. So if you're a bass lover, I don't know if the AirPods are going to be for you.
Yeah, you're definitely trading convenience for sound quality.
So let's start off with some examples for the headsets that you guys have tried out. What are some headphones that are like on the lower end, a little more affordable, that would be compatible with a phone like the iPhone 7 or the Moto Z that doesn't have a headphone jack, but it's still wireless and would be easily able to connect to multiple devices?
David's been testing a lot out.
Well, this one I just got yesterday. It's just coming out now from from iFrogs. It's a sports headphone. It's water resistant. It has this little magnet, so you clip it onto your shirt, and it gets better, a little bit better. It gets better battery life because you can put everything in here, so it gets about 10 hours of battery life. And then you would either clip it onto your shirt,
So hopefully stay secure that way against your shirt.
and then you put it, then you put it in your ears, and they fit pretty well. They're lightweight, $35. You might see them
That's
for
not bad.
even a little bit cheaper. They sound pretty decent. So I think there's going to be a ton of these types of headphones hitting the market. You're talking about $25, $35. There's already a bunch of Chinese wireless headphones out there. These are the iFrog Summit. It's a sports model. iFrogs has a bunch of other ones. They sell a lot of headphones in the, Walmart, the drugstores. You'll see these they sell a lot of cheap headphones in places, not Best Buy, not the Apple Store. So these are going to actually start sounding okay and work pretty well for very little money.
I think the advantage of some of the other ones that David brought too, he brought the Dash here by Braggy, and that's version 1. They have a second version coming out pretty soon too. But the advantage you get by not buying the AirPods is that a lot of these third-party manufacturers have wireless earbuds that also do more than just listen to music. These also have fitness features built in, right?
Yeah, and
So that moves up in the higher end then.
these are $300. Yes, for cheap ones. I gave them some cheap ones, but these actually fit really well. And the issue with Bragi, this is a German company, when it first came out, some of the features didn't work so well. They weren't staying connected well, and Bragi's come out with a series of software updates, and now they're good. And then they're coming out with a less expensive model, just called the headphone.
Yeah, because they just started on Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, this took a while to come out, and there were delays, but it is now a very good, truly wireless headphone. The other one I've been playing around with is this company called Orato, and they make these buds here. I put the wings on them.
So they're also totally wireless then.
These are totally wireless, and they fit well in your. The key again is the wireless connection between them is reliable. They stay connected. They sound pretty good, and they'll stay in your ears. And then they slip into this case, and I haven't lost them yet. I've been using them for a couple weeks, and then you just jam it in. And this is also these come with their own charging cases, like the Apple.
So there's power inside of the case as well.
It has a battery, and it can charge it can charge these headphones. A lot of these headphones are only about 3 to 4 hours of battery life. But when you put them in the case, they start charging. They turn off automatically. Pull them out. These actually have a little control on the bud themselves. And then there's one of the original ones. Also was these another company called Earin.
That reminds me of the Men in Black camera when you flash it, or one of those extractable pens. So those are earbuds you pull out.
Yeah, and this is a Swedish company, I believe. This does not have a microphone in it. Both the Bragi and the Orato have a microphone for making calls. But this one hasn't gotten as good reviews, but it definitely has a sleek design, and it fit my ears. And it's probably going to come down in price. So a lot of these, because of the AirPods, these are $279, $300 headphones. But with the AirPods, I would suspect they'll start having to come down more towards $200, some of the premium models. But the most important thing is basically that they stay connected to your phone, and the buds themselves stay connected, don't drop out. With Bluetooth, you're always going to get some dropouts. The Bragis use, and a new Jabra coming out, use actually some a technology that is found in hearing aids that communicates with it. The actual connection between the buds is a magnetic connection, is not via Bluetooth. So there's some point we're trying to figure out how Apple is doing its connection to the iPhone. They may be doubling up on the Bluetooth connection for each, but some of these headphones are using actually hearing aid technology to make them work.
Do you find the ones that come in cases, they fit well in pockets? I picked it up, it's sort of like the size of a lighter in a way, maybe a little thicker than that.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little worried that it was going to slide out if I was in a cab or something like that.
It slid out of my hand and I dropped it on the floor when grabbing it. It's definitely a little slippery.
Froggy's pretty big. I don't know if you'd want to have that in your pocket all the time.
Yeah, that's a
Camera
definite
battery.
first gen product, but I suspect their new model, which I don't really like the name, the headphone.
So a way to compare it to this other one. And then here is an iPhone 6s Plus that we happen to have on set. It's a pretty chunky. So if you had these like lined up in your pocket, but they're coming in all different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, I mean obviously the case also, one would assume would have a bigger battery in it if it's a little bit heavier. So, I think you'll see it coming all shapes and sizes.
Mm-hmm. And so Justin, what were a couple of headsets that you tried out?
I actually wanted to show this one off. It's not wireless at all, but this is another way to output really good quality sound from your iPhone 7, even though it doesn't have a headphone jack. Obviously, the 3.5 millimeter to Lightning dongle comes in the box, but if you want to bypass the DAC inside the phone and get really good quality sound out of your iPhone 7, you can buy this. It's by a company called AudioQuest. It's called the Dragonfly. It's about the size of a USB key, and when you pop off the cap here, what you have to do is buy this. It's $100, but then if you plug this into another adapter, which is the iPhone camera adapter, it's Lightning to USB. Plug this into there.
How much is that?
This has I think that one's $30. Ty bought it this week, and it has a headphone jack on the other side. And when you combine those, you get a slightly larger dongle than what you would get with that. But I think the audio benefits are excellent. You convert it to 24-bit. It's a Sabre DAC inside of this thing. It's really small and compact. So for the audiophiles out there that still want to output really good sound from your iPhone 7, I think this is the best solution.
I mean, there are also smaller versions of a Lightning cable with a smaller DAC in it, so that's a little bit clunky to do it that way.
Well, no, this is actually a lot smaller than most of the headphone amps that you have to bring around. A lot of them are about the size of an iPhone, and they come with a rubber band that you have to attach to the back of it. So if you're looking for a portable DAC...
No, but I would leave the room now and get the one I have on my desk.
Which one do you have?
It's a Kickstarter, but it basically, I think it's called iAmp, but it's the amp is built into the remote control.
Yeah, you're going to start seeing more of those
It's a smaller, I just think when you start having, that's actually designed to plug into your laptop as well.
Right. It's sort of a hack that me and Ty put together for the iPhone. But
so there will be other DAC, and some companies already have Lightning cables for their headphones.
Yeah.
But I think that we're going to see all kinds of accessories.
So, Bluetooth or not, what do you think people should look at when they're looking at headphones to buy? What do you think are important aspects of it? Should they be looking at maybe sound quality versus portability? What do you like to look for when you're looking for a new headphone to buy for yourselves?
I always look for sound quality first. I think with Bluetooth, you're always going to get a little bit, although Bluetooth sounds a lot better than it did a couple years ago, it's still not going to sound as great as a wired headset. So I'm still sort of in the Steve Guttenberg world of audiophiles with that. I always prefer a wired headset over Bluetooth. But the Bluetooth wireless earbuds are always a good solution too. You're just going to pay for the convenience of it.
I think people look. I personally, I do listen to wired headphones, but if I'm on the go, I prefer a wireless headphone, and then at that point, I'm looking first at the style, whether it's in ear, on ear, over ear. There's obviously a whole bunch of headphones out there that are now Bluetooth with noise canceling, the Bose, Sony, Sennheiser, Parrot. That's a big category for sort of the people who want the noise canceling, business travelers. In the streets of New York, I tend to like to have a smaller profile. Unless it's winter, then I'll go for the earmuffs.
What drives me nuts about those Bluetooth headphones that sometimes when I try them out, I'll lose a little bit of quality in terms of like hiccuping. Do you find that on the higher end, the Bluetooth headphones sort of, do they have a better connection, or does that problem remain no matter what?
It's getting better. You know, with each version of Bluetooth, they're addressing a few different things. One is the quality of the connection. So when you go from Bluetooth 3.0, then we're now on 4.1, 4.2. There's that reliability of the connection, battery life, and then bandwidth, which sound quality. So with each iteration, that gets a little bit better. So it is definitely gotten better with the latest ones. Bluetooth 5.0, we'll probably see, they'll release it at the end of this year, and we'll see it in devices in 2017. So that will get it even better.
And have you guys tried out the Lightning, the ones that connect directly to Lightning? Do they have any better quality than a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack?
I think you'll see with Lightning, you really have to have a really good pair of headphones. I just don't think it's going to make a huge difference with, you know, an average pair of headphones. And sometimes there's a question of whether it sounds better or just different. But I think if you're trying to drive, you know, a higher end headphone, it has some sort of DAC in the actual cable. There's a company called Odyssey that makes something called the Sign headphone, and that comes with its own Cypher Lightning cable. And you know, I think, you know, I had a discussion with Ty about what he thought sounded better, the analog connection or the digital, and I think a lot of times it can be, you know, some people prefer one over the other.
And the cool thing about the Lightning port too is that it can obviously transport data and power at the same time. So we're already starting to see earbuds that have a built-in noise cancellation in them, and you're going to start to see more of those smaller noise canceling headsets that don't have to have a big bulky battery pack in them, and those will start to shrink too. So I think it's going to be a really exciting year for headphones.
So we got some interaction in our chats. So if you are on our YouTube, keep chatting away. I am watching, by the way, as well as tweeting us at #OpenTab. On Twitter, Andrew writes that he doesn't feel like losing a headphone jack is a deal breaker. He's been using wireless headphones and Bluetooth in his car for years. Jim, in our YouTube chat right now, wrote something a little similar. He's been using wireless music since the first mini iPod in 2004, which I'm not even sure. I guess he had an adapter, and then went over to Bluetooth in 2006. So people that say they are going to miss headphone jack, it's ancient. Wenzel writes to us saying he thinks this paves the way for high-def music on iPhones. The headphone jack restricted iPhones, iPods to 16-bit 44 kilobits. Does that sound about right? Do you think we'll get? Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but
yeah,
I think quality going to come from that.
You will, but at the same time, again, you're going to need really high-end headphones to hear the difference, in my opinion. So most people are not necessarily buying those headphones, and if you're an audiophile, I don't know if you necessarily want to use your iPhone as your so you know, they can market it as you know, these are high-res headphones, or these are, you know, but again, the actual quality of the sound is also just dependent on just how good the headphone is.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about this. This is not going to end anytime soon because the iPhone just dropped today. So there's probably like a whole wave of new headsets that are going to be taking advantage of this over time.
And there's certainly AirPods. We have Beat stuff coming out pretty soon too. So there's obviously going to be some interesting when those new models come out in the next few weeks. We'll see how people attach to those.
All right, David, so we're saying goodbye to you. Justin, you're hanging out for a little longer. David, where can people follow you on Twitter?
David Carnoy, at David Carnoy.
Awesome. And follow these guys for more and more audio news over the next several months. So we're going to go to break, and I think we're flipping over to a review of the AirPods. And so we will see you very shortly.
Apple's AirPods are independently charging wireless buds that come with their own little dental floss-like case. Now, there are a lot of earphones that do this and are independently connected that attach to your head. A couple of companies make them. Apple's can be used for music or phone calls, and the microphones actually sound really good with built-in noise-canceling mics in each. And the AirPods' coolest trick is that it auto-connects. With iPhones, iPads, Apple Watch, and Macs, you need to have Apple's latest software, iOS 10 or macOS Sierra, to use it. Pair once, use it across all your things. And it switches as devices are switched. So the idea is, keep them in. Walk to your next device. Keep going. Keep those AirPods in your ears. They even start and stop automatically. Now, I would have liked a little bit of a remote built into them. Right now, you can only double tap to get Siri. Wireless earbuds, again, they're not new, and Apple's, while sounding good, look completely ridiculous. If you can get over that, you might like them. But what's most interesting is the chip inside. That new W1 chip Apple's been talking about, it does all the handshaking via Bluetooth. Imagine that in a smart home gadget. A speaker, a lamp, a car. From watches to earphones to who knows what else. Apple's deep in wireless accessories now. You're not necessarily going to want to buy AirPods, but you'll want devices that seamlessly work just like this.
He doesn't need a race on it. Welcome back to Open Tab, and now on the couch and cracking open the beer immediately, my fake doctor, Joseph Kaminsky.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Whew, it's been a long day.
It's been a long week and a half with some of our colleagues, covering between Apple and last week PlayStation, which is a whole other ball of wax. I'm sure Jeff will get back on when he gets back to talk about video games.
What'd you think about the PlayStation Pro?
It was sleepy. I know those two devices, the Pro and the Slim, were exactly what I expected them to be, but I've never seen a sleepier press conference from Sony.
But you know, it was sleepy, but the one thing I will respect, unlike Apple, they didn't do all this, I wish somebody needs to remove the word magical from Apple's vocabulary.
Magical, amazing.
Magical is not real, okay? That's for D&D. And anyway, I appreciated what I appreciated from Sony. It was to the point. Here's the device. Here are the specs. Here's the release date. I like that, in and out. Would I get one? I doubt it unless it has some sort of enhancements with the VR versus the current system.
Our colleagues in San Francisco, they made a video that's on the CNET YouTube channel if you're watching us on that right now. And it's essentially sort of an ad-lib game where they showed every year them saying the blank iPhone is the most blank ever. Advanced, magical, every superlative you can think of.
You can say that for the Intel processor, NVIDIA's graphic cards. It's always their best one. I mean, that's called progression.
Justin, do you have an adjective that you heard at a press release, the press conference that makes you just go, oh, are you kidding me?
It's not an adjective, but courage made me kind of ball.
Yeah, that's why we wrote that sketch. It was just courage.
I think courage is more fitting for Samsung than
Yeah,
Apple.
Jobs has said that before, but I felt like he kind of pulled it off. I don't know about Schiller. I feel like he didn't.
Courage.
Yeah.
Yes, courage. Out today. It's
Courage.
for $9.
Yeah, I don't know about that courage thing either. It's just.
But you bought the iPhone, so you.
Well, well, here's the thing. I don't even know if it's drinking the Kool-Aid. I think a lot of people, what they forget is, once you've had a certain device for over an X amount of years, I probably have more money in apps and music than the device is actually worth. You get locked to it that way. And I said this before and I'll say it again.
Yeah.
If you want somebody to move over, I think a great way would be maybe if you gave them an incentive, like, hey, if you're switching from an iPhone to Android or vice versa, here's $100 to get you started on your app library. Or if app developers actually gave you a discount if you own their app on a different platform, that would make it easy to transition. And also just the convenience and
Yeah.
And just like I go back and forth with Graziano because he likes to do all the customization stuff. I just need to pick up my phone and use it. I guess as you get older, you have less time to do these little things. You know, when you get older, you're like, I just need to pick it up and I need to figure out where I put this button or that button or what color or crazy live wallpaper killing my battery, etc. So it's a preference thing. It's a comfort thing. It's also what meets your needs.
I had a comment on one of our Facebook posts saying, oh, the photo you took had no headphone jack. Well, here's the iPhone 7. It's on sale starting today. And no headphone jack. I mean, it's black. You probably can't see it, to be honest. But speaker, lightning.
I mean,
that's what it is.
Motorola did it. It wasn't such a big deal. I guess, it's a bigger deal because Apple is the direct competitor and you know, depending on your perspective, Apple's the bad guy or Samsung's the bad guy. And those are the two. That's your Luke and your Darth Vader. Everybody else is like an Ewok.
I mean, my question really is, what are we going to see in the future for Apple devices? Do you think that they're going to get rid of the headphone jack on iPads? Is the next MacBook Pro going to not have a headphone jack? Because that's really going to piss people off.
Probably will.
Because if, you know, there's a lot of video editors out there that are doing sound on their machines. If you get rid of the headphone jack, you're going to piss even more
I think
people
my
off.
disappointment with the removal of the headphone jack was I thought that would allow them to make it thinner, though that's not really necessary.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're going to remove it, do something like that. I personally haven't noticed that big of a battery jump that warrant the removal of it. I mean, great, the stereo speakers, but you know what? HTC did it with the, you know, with their phone, with the stereo speakers in the front, and you still had your headphone jack. There's a way to work around it. I think, though, actually with this non-physical button now, they do tend to treat people like they're a little ignorant. I think they're personally prepping them with this like the MacBook button. So eventually you remove the home button or that home circle, and you start using 3D touch as the home button. I think it's just teaching everybody how to use the pressure-sensitive mechanism with the haptic feedback. I think that's probably where they're coddling people to. Apple does tend to treat people less intelligent, but it also makes a lot of people feel intelligent when they can open up their phones and say, look what I can do.
If
People actually feel like they're magical. It's the damn phone.
And we'll see, I guess, in a year, if it does indeed go that route.
Yeah.
So, Joey, we got to get down to business. Fun business.
Okay, let's
nonetheless.
do it. Let's
but
do it.
We got another edition of, wait for it, Joe and Shell. Today, Joey, tell us what you have.
Well, I'm just trying to lift this up into my lap while they look at the demo. This is from the Darts Factory. This is the Goose 2 dartboard. The Goose Square dartboard. It is a digital dartboard with LED lights. It has multiple gameplay modes where you can actually play locally with multiple players, you know, typical cricket or count up. But a nice feature with this is you can also play someone else somewhere else in a game of darts. So Brian actually came up with an excellent idea. Say, hey, we should get one of these here in New York. We already have one in New York, but get one in San Francisco and maybe, you know, a little Joe versus Tong action, you know, going on.
So those don't actually have, they're not sharp.
No, so they're not,
Yeah.
So they're not sharp
That's why it's
darts.
still sitting
They're
next to
plastic
you.
tip darts. And I would recommend buying an extra pack because we had some pretty aggressive dart players in the office yesterday. Everything breaks. But the tips, obviously, they just screw in, they screw out. They're weighted if you want to hold it. It comes with this faceplate, but there are 5 different faceplates. It's magnetic. So you can, magnetically comes off. There's a blue, purple, pink, and I think maybe a red.
Like a giant motherboard.
And these, well, the faceplates, that's actually nice this way. The faceplates can be purchased for like $25. This particular model dartboard I saw on Amazon for $245. What's special about this is for all you iPhone or Android or iOS users, it works with both KitKat and Up, the app, because there's a Sidekick app that actually keeps the score. So it works with KitKat and Up, Bluetooth 4.0, and iOS 7 and up. And it either works on 4 AA batteries, but I think what really impressed me, and of course it's an imported dartboard from the Dartboard Factory, is in the box that came with it, they give you not only a measuring tape where you can measure to hang it, they give you a sticker pad where you can stand back, and with the plug, they give you a plug for America, you know, and pretty much all around the world. And you can run it via the outlet or from the batteries if you just want to leave it plugged in all the time. You don't have to buy batteries, take it off the wall. Another thing is the instruction chart, which is really cool, that comes with it, has markings. So you can measure up and you can literally, and it comes with the screws to hang it. So you put the screws in here and you just rip it off the wall and so you measure where you put the paper. You put the screws through the paper. I'm sorry, I'm showing you guys, what's on the camera. You measure where you put it, and then you can just rip the paper off the wall and just hang the dartboard right there, and you're good to go. In terms of the app and the dartboard,
I saw you play this yesterday.
I can flick it on. I just turned it on. You can also control the LED lights when you turn it on, and then you can use. Sorry, this is CNET's iPad, not mine. So before everybody goes crazy in the chat.
We're allowed to use whatever tablets we want.
So this is the app.
Oh.
And the app makes sound effects for the darts hitting as well. Oh. right?
So it begins with this EDM-ish
let me
intro.
flip it up, sorry.
It's loading.
So it's loading, and you got your guest name, you can sign it. I think I created CNET. They put CNET.
It's like party music in there.
Yeah.
So the idea here is that if two people have the dartboards, you can play at the same time.
So if you have one at home and I have one at home, we could play each other, or we could play locally. So you just go to settings and you go like to option dartboard, connect to dartboard. It'll connect to the dartboard.
Yeah.
See connected. And you can go back and you go new game, cricket. You get your choice of game. You can pick like cricket. Next. Then it creates a game. If I want to add a player, very simple. If somebody has an account, I can put their account in there, or I could just go guest, and I can add another one, guest, and then I can start game. Then it connects to the dartboard to create the game. Then here it highlights the person's turn, and you can bring up the menu here. If the person skipped or they have the roster dart, you can go back, next to the next person, options, and it keeps everybody's score here and what you need to hit. Also, what the dartboard does is, I don't know if you can see it in the studio lights, but it lights up where you need to hit. You see it? If I twist it, it lights up where you need to shoot.
Oh, I see.
So you know what you're aiming for. So
Yeah.
it's really cool. It's really cool. The guys had fun with it yesterday. We broke it out for Third Thursday.
Yeah, Mr. McP in our chat has written, "Do you get Dart DLC?" We'll expand.
I don't know if there'll be any Dart DLC, but it's a really cool product.
How much is that?
This particular one is, I saw like it for $245 on Amazon. There's the Sigma, which is the step below this. It doesn't come with the overlays. It's just a completely circular dartboard.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all the LEDs. It's like the LX. It's lacking extras. This is the creme de la creme, but it's a really nice unit.
Yeah, $250 for a
Seems like a
dartboard?
lot, yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, I haven't bought a dartboard before, but I feel like you could
250
buy
for a dart.
a real dartboard.
Weren't you
for
just showing me
less
like
than $100?
but weren't you just showing me like pieces of wire for music for like
Yeah,
$200?
That's totally different, though.
But
I mean,
is it really? Your headphones are just you. How many people can you play darts with?
people
question
spend their
is-
money on what they want to spend. money
Yeah,
on,
it
but-
depends on how much you value having a scoreboard on your tablet, essentially.
Right.
If you can't,
If you
can't
can't
track it
add.
yourself, which I'm terrible at math. I mean,
Sure.
I could use something like that.
Yeah, why not?
I just don't know if I value it at $250 personally.
It does look pretty cool, though.
It is cool, and I mean, hey, if you can make a cheaper one, go get your Kickstarter going. No, but I personally think it's cool. I haven't personally seen many other than this, so I couldn't tell you if it's too high or not.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cheaper than a lot of things you find. The new PlayStation's $400. You got your you got Game Boy. The 3DS is like $179. So. I mean, when you're talking electronics, you're always hitting around the $200 mark. That seems to be the sweet spot.
Maybe for businesses, Mr. McP then wrote back after Reset talked to did his question that if he owned a pub, that this would be his go-to, no doubt.
Hey, there
Well,
you go.
another nice thing is that if like let's say I'm a family man,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you can't take someone's eye out, but at least a plastic dart, you're not piercing the skin.
That's true. Yeah.
So you can actually play with the young ones and not worry about anything really dangerous happening other than let everybody play with like glasses and everybody's like they're impervious.
So how's your dart game, Jay?
It's better when I drink more, or maybe I think it's better. I think it is better. Pool and darts, I think, seem to be a little better for me when I drink, but I have to be right at that magic spot. Yeah. Not like going up the hill, but not
still
coming
see
down.
straight.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? I'll tend to focus better.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let me get this lock on.
I was just checking through our comments to the chat one more time to see if there's anything else we could scoop through. There was a fight over Samsung while we were chatting. So the Note 7, let's just talk about that really briefly. I'd say about 100,000 people in America have done the recall return, maybe 800,000-ish to go. Is that insane? I mean, have you had a phone that overheated so much that you just couldn't use it anymore?
I've had phones overheat where they shut off. I had that happen a long time ago, and it wasn't anything to reflect on the brand itself because I had an HTC Evo 3D when they came out, and the aluminum rimming or the metal rimming started peeling.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had like the insurance for it. So, like a dummy, I should have just glued it and kept it. I took it to Sprint. They swapped it out for me, and they gave me a refurb. And that thing was just getting so hot it was shutting off. I was like, damn, I should have just stayed where I was.
Yeah.
That was as bad as I've ever seen it.
And that happens with iPhones too. I mean, if you use your phone or put it in your pocket on a really hot summer day, sometimes you'll take it out and it won't even turn on because it'll just give you that message. You know,
I think that also happens like when an app hangs. And it gets really hot.
But it's never gotten so bad on an iPhone for me that I'd have to send it back.
I have to say that, and people probably get upset, but that's probably the reason why nobody can find an iPhone 7 Plus, because everybody returned their Note 7. It's like, dude, this is exploding. I need a phone. I can't get on a plane. I need a phone I can get on a plane with.
Yeah. And I just want to say hi to Bill Stearns, who called me out on having Butterfingers when I dropped the case earlier in the show. Thank you.
You guys got to stop picking on Michael. Michael does an amazing job.
He does do a good job, especially today on his own.
Michael writes the script. Michael does the research. Michael and Brian make this show go.
Thank you for sucking up to us while you're the guest.
I was sticking up for you. See, now I may join them. Now you know how to take a compliment. All right, now I may join them.
Greatly.
You don't hear Brian say anything in the booth.
Yeah, shout out to Brian in the booth.
Yeah.
And shout out to Richard joining us.
Yes,
And Richard,
thank you, Richard, for helping us out today. All right, we're going to close out. Thank you guys again. Justin, where can people follow you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at Malice Brutus.
Ooh, Malice Brutus.
Yeah, I'm one of the only CNET editors that kind of got creative with their Twitter name back in the day. I don't have Justin at CNET.
This phonetically MAL
USBR, like Latin style, BRUTUS.
Cool, man. I like that. My dude.
And
My dude.
Joey, your Twitter
It's
handle?
Joe Stradamus with a 0.
There you go. See? I like it. Creative.
And I'm at Mike J. Sorrentino.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Mike,
Kinda
wake
normal.
up, man.
All right, have a safe and fun weekend. Please keep the conversation going in the comments on this YouTube, on our post. Tweet us what you thought of today's show. Use hashtag OpenTab. And if you have a geeky cocktail idea, we haven't done one in a couple weeks, but we're going to bring it back. Email it to us at opentab@cnet.com. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody.